Star Radio UK.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. I think they're trying to...
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is your video on? Hello, Baasegun.
Hello?
1 minute.
Double waffle element.
No, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Double.
Yeah, I think oh, 1 minute. I cut him off.
He can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Baasegun. Hello, Baasegun, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah, but you're a bit muffled.
Okay. I'm not sure. Maybe your video is not turned on.
The audio is not very good.
The audio is not very good.
Oh, that's better. That's a bit better.
Okay, I think I've moved the mic closer. Is it possible to turn on your video?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. Are we using video as well?
If it's possible, yes, please. Just turn the video on.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you now. Yes. Yes. How many seconds have we got left, Mr. Archie?
You can go and put that.
Okay.
I'm ready, so you can go. Yeah.
Okay. No, don't go yet. Just give me 60 seconds. I need to get it. Sorry, Baasegun. I was just quickly getting some few things sorted out. But we're almost good to go. Let me call Archie back. I've sent a link to you. I hope you can hear me. Okay. Can you hear me, Baasegun? I've sent a link to you. I'm going to share the YouTube as well.
Sorry?
Well, a very good evening and welcome to Niger Voices on Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I would like to welcome you as you are joining us today, the 20th of April 2022. My name is Olayomi Koiki and I'm going to be your host tonight. And tonight it's going to be a very important night, not just because of the night, but it's also important because of the Yorubas that are fighting, their right as indigenous people, to exit out of Nigeria. But before that can be done, there's a lot of process that needs to be taking place. There's a lot of things happening. But first and foremost, I would like to appreciate my producer, Mr. Frank, David, and Mr. Archie, that have made this very possible for us to bring the program to you live every Wednesday from London, where we are bringing the transmission from. The quote for today is the 21st century is wonderful era. You can't excuse yourself from such a great opportunity. The opportunity also means that should we want to leave Nigeria, what are the process, what are the crowns, what do we need to do? All these will be part of the conversation tonight with my guest. And I'm going to be bringing my guest in as quickly as possible because there's so much to discuss and we haven't got a lot of time tonight. So let's get a guest in, and that will be the one and only Baasegun Alabe, who is also the coordinator for the UK Ilana. We'll be telling you what UK Ilana, for those of you that are not from Nigeria and those of you that are joining us as well. And I say a very, very good evening to everyone that have joined us from different part of the globe. I hope you can hear me loud and clear, right over there from your side of the globe in Leicester, where you are. Join us this evening. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And also, I know I've already, given a bit of, who you are as a person, but maybe if you, for the benefit of our listeners from around the globe, if you can just help us a little bit and give us more information, who is Baasegun Alabe, our guest tonight on Niger Voices on Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Once again, thank you very much to all the technical team that are working behind the scene, and I welcome you once again to those of you that have joined us from around the globe. Let's go straight to it. Good evening to you, Baasegun, and welcome to Niger Voices.
Thank you very much indeed, Koiki. The Baasegun Alabe is actually my chieftaincy title. I am a Yoruba traditionalist and a Yoruba nationalist, and I am very proud to display my title to the whole world. My name is Olayomi. I'm an orthopedic surgeon by training. I am not a politician. I became involved in Ilana only a few months ago. And since then, we at Ilana UK have achieved quite a lot. I don't usually like to talk very much about myself, but all I can say is that I'm one of the success stories in terms of the medical profession of the Yoruba people who have come to England. In fact, at one stage, I was an elected member of the General Medical Council, for example. I think that's probably enough about me.
Okay. Well, thank you once again for being part of this, Niger Voices. For those of you that are watching us for the very first time, Niger Voices was one program that we sat together with my, with the team, my producer, and we decided, to look at issues affecting Nigerians from different part of the globe, and also Nigerians that are back home as well. And that has been a program for the last 5 years. We've had a lot of guests and we've had a lot of conversation, but tonight we're focusing on a very, very important part of what a lot of you need to know, and also what needs to be said as well. For the benefit of our listeners around the globe and those that probably do not know anything about Ilana, whether, as a chapter or as a worldwide organization for the self-determination movement. And for those that are outside, self-determination is not a crime. There are about almost 45 countries. I believe next year, according to what I've read, Scotland will be going again for another referendum, even though they lost the last one 9 years ago. But Nicola Sojourn said something that I was able to pick on, and she said, if the Conservatives do not allow the will of the people to go by, and that means, you know, the request of what they said when they were coming in as a political party, as a SNP, they assure their citizens that the reason why you are voting us in, we guarantee you a referendum to leave Great Britain. Let us know a little bit more, Baasegun, about Ilana as a whole organization and as a chapter where you are the coordinator for here in the United Kingdom.
Ilana Omo Odua is a worldwide organization and established for the welfare of the Yoruba people. That's the primary goal, the welfare of the Yoruba people. And that welfare includes having an independent Yoruba land, a Yoruba land that determines what it wishes for itself. Not anybody else determining what the Yoruba land should be like, but what the Yorubas determine their future to be like. That's the basis of Ilana Omo Odua. And I belong to the UK chapter of Ilana Omo Odua. Ilana Omo Odua has chapters all in almost all countries of the world. There are Yoruba. Anywhere there is a Yoruba man, there is a Yoruba chapter of Ilana. And we have been, Ilana has been fortunate to have Professor Akintoye as our leader, as the Ilana. He has led us well. He is a man of integrity, a well-read man. I mean, I know everybody talks of him as a historian, but actually I look at him more as a well-read man, a well-rounded man, and he has the character to lead the movement. He's not impulsive. He regards everybody as part of the same of the same group. Even if you are not a member of Ilana, Akintoye still welcomes you. So Ilana itself, Ilana Omo Odua really has become almost like an umbrella for all self-determination movements. I know some people will argue that, but in fact, it is a fact that the primary organization leading us to the promised land is Ilana Omo Odua. And I'm proud to be part of Ilana, and I'm proud to be the coordinator for Ilana UK. And we are doing great things, and we hope that by the end of this year, we will have an independent Yoruba land.
My coordinator will be looking at, there's a lot of background noise that is also filtering through the broadcast. Not too sure why we are getting that noise, but I believe they are looking into that as well. Let's come back to it again. Why do the Yorubas at this time that a lot of people are already working towards the 2023 general election, and we have also Yorubas that are also going to be participants, whether contesting for the 2023. Why do the Yorubas want to exit or leave or disintegrate or whatever how it is being put out there by all those that are requesting and asking to leave Nigeria? Why do the Yorubas want to leave Nigeria, if I may ask you?
Okay, that is actually a very important question, and I will go back to 1914. That Nigeria has actually existed on illegality since 1914, and I think as time goes on, apart from what we are doing at the minute, as time goes on, a lot of this will come to the fore. The thing that I need to stress firstly is that we Yoruba, we have suffered immeasurable detriment as a result of the illegality of Nigeria. And the point is that the 1999 Constitution was made or created to perpetuate that illegality. And we Yorubas are the ones that have suffered the most because of this illegality. Fortunately for us, the illegality is susceptible to court action, and that's why we have gone to court. Now, people ask why now? Why? Because the governorship elections in Osun and Ekiti states provide us the opportunity to directly challenge the legitimacy of elections under the 1999 fraudulent constitution. So, as I started, I said Nigeria is built or has existed on illegality since 1914, and the time has now come for us to challenge that illegality. And what the 1999 Constitution does is to give us the opportunity of making that challenge internally. Eventually, we are going to make the challenge externally as well. And I hope at some stage I might come back to the program to explain how we are going to challenge externally that illegality. Now, some people ask me, why are we in court then? I say, the court case, that is the case in Ekiti and Osun states, is vitally important, very important, because it directly challenges the legitimacy of elections in Nigeria under the 1999 Constitution. Because the Constitution establishes the rules by which a country is run. We know that. Election is part of those rules. We know that. We also know that you cannot hold a valid election under a fraudulent constitution. We know that. Nigeria's 1999 constitution, everybody says it's fraudulent. Everybody knows it's fraudulent. And therefore, you cannot hold a valid election under a fraudulent Nigerian constitution. That's really what we are saying. We are saying to the court, we are making it clear, particularly to our politicians, that they do not have any legal standing to be doing all the rubbish they've been doing. They have no legal standing. We've just been tolerating them for a long time. They've been deceiving us. They've been conning us for a long time. They really have no legal state standing to do what they are doing. That's what we are saying. Since 1999, they've been doing things based on illegality. And what we are saying now is that we are going to stop that illegality. We've gone to court to stop them from pursuing this illegal behavior that they've been doing since 1999 with impunity. They've been treating us with so much impunity. They don't care. They just do whatever it is they like. What we are saying now is this: enough. Otoge, we don't want any more. We want now to go back to what our forefathers bequeathed us. We want to go back to the status of 1888, when the Alabe Oyo signed a treaty with the Queen of Great Britain as equal nations. That's where we want to go back to. And if we succeed in this court case that we are doing, it means Nigeria stands dissolved. There'll be no Nigeria again. All these people doing banku all over the place. We want to show them through the means of the law courts that Nigeria is an illegal contraption. That Nigeria has been illegal since 1914, not just new, and that the 1999 Constitution is brought everything to a head. That's what we are saying.
Wow. For the benefit of those that are watching us this evening, this is Star Radio UK, is Niger Voices every Wednesday. This comes between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. local time, in London. And tonight we have a very important guest that is going to be giving us everything that we need to know in the upcoming court case that is very, very important to a particular indigenous group of people back in Nigeria. I want to come back again to you, my guest, Baasegun. Why must it be at this junction in the history of Nigeria? Nigeria is 61 years. What has gone wrong? What is it that the Yorubas that want to leave? We know about the Biafra, but the Yorubas are now saying the same thing. I've been getting a bit of feed from the Arewa, but not that much. Why now is it that the Yorubas are getting tired to be part of this union that was put together in 1960?
Okay. The fact of the matter actually is that we Yorubas have been the ones that have suffered the most from Nigeria. Don't let anybody deceive you. We have been the ones that have suffered most from Nigeria. Okay, look at it. We generate 75% of Nigeria's wealth. And what do we get in return? 15%. So the money that they take from Nigeria, from Yoruba land, they give to the rest of Nigeria. And that has been going on since 1914. In fact, the reason why we have amalgamation was in order to rob Peter to pay Paul. And we are the ones that have been robbed all along. And what we are saying is this: if we stop giving everybody our money, if we spend our money on ourselves, we will have a better country than we have now. And we can say categorically that we can do it because we've done it before. Between 1952 and 1959, Yoruba land was the most rapidly developing part of this universe. In fact, people are coming from South Korea, Singapore. They were all coming to Yoruba land to find out how we were doing things. And we were doing it not because of oil, we were doing it on the basis of agriculture. On the basis of agriculture. That's how we were doing it. All we were doing was selling cocoa, and we were able to sell cocoa to give everybody free primary education, and I'm a beneficiary. I'm one of the first people to go to Awolowo school in 1955. And I went to a village school, and today I am one of the topmost doctors in the UK. Even though I went to a village school in Nigeria, free primary education. He gave us, Awolowo, between 1952 and 1959, Awolowo gave us free health for young people, free health care for young people. Awolowo gave us the first skyscraper in Africa. Awolowo gave us the first Olympic stage on African soil. Awolowo gave us the first television station on African soil. We had television in Ibadan before they had it in France. This was 1950. I mean, when you talk about this, it is unbelievable. Totally unbelievable that 60 years ago, we had television. And do you know how long it took to set up the television station in Ibadan?
I don't
3
know.
months.
You tell me. 3 months.
3 months. And the television station, the idea of it was to support the free primary education. That's the idea. That those things you couldn't teach them in the classroom, you would teach them through the television station. Again, I was part of the young people who appeared on television in Ibadan in those days. I still remember it. It used to be called Youth Rendezvous in those days. With Sister Julie was the compere. So we had all these goodies, all this good life in the 1950s. And Nigeria destroyed everything. Overnight, the day that Nigeria became independent was the day that they decided they were going to destroy everything. The day that Nigeria became independent was the day that the others ganged up in an attempt to destroy Yoruba land. That's what they did. That's what they did.
Wow.
From the day of independence, they decided that they were going to destroy Yoruba land. So when we Yoruba say it is time for us to go, we have suffered enough. 62 years of suffering is enough. We don't want any more suffering. We don't have to suffer anymore.
Okay.
We are entitled to leave Nigeria. Whether you look at the United Nations Charter, or you look at African Charter, or you look at Nigerian law itself, we are entitled to leave Nigeria. But we are trying to do it legally, lawfully.
And that is where, tonight's conversation is going to be focusing on. What we are still doing for the benefit of those of you is just getting you to get ready into the real conversation, which is, a court case that will be a test of time in the history of Nigeria. A lot of people say it's never going to make any difference. Before we go into the court case, just because we have a lot of listeners from Kenya, from Congo, Uganda, they've always seen Nigeria as a big brother. What went wrong from that big brother that now the indigenous people, a particular ethnic group, are now saying we don't want to be part of that big brother? We can still be the big brother from the Yoruba nation. We've known about the Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu has been putting this out for a very long time. But we have now seen, Professor Banji Akintoye, the leader of the, Yoruba, movement for self-determination. Well, we've seen how, Chief Sunday Igboho was attacked because he was also asking for the security. Is it because we have insecurity in Nigeria today is one reason why you want to leave? You remember, we've had people that say we can restructure the country. Even I heard, which I'm going to get my, my soundtrack to get that ready before we end this program. Pa Ayo Adebanjo says, should you not restructure the constitution, then the secessionists will come true. I know a lot of people don't want to use the word secessionist, but what I want to ask you again is it because that we now see that there's insecurity economy-wise, the Yoruba are not getting enough out of it? What could be a main reason to become an independent, which is going to lead to the court case? But why do we want to leave from the Yoruba perspective? For a person that is watching us from around the world, look at Nigeria, but the Yoruba are saying we want to leave. What is the main reason to want to exit the union that was put together in 1960 by the British government and the 1914 amalgamation?
Okay. If I go into this, I could be here for the next week.
Well, but I'm sure we can always bring you back again. But tonight, we're still in here. It's coming up to exactly 18:38. We still have my guests for those of you that have joined us.
I'm going to address all the other African countries that you mentioned, because what the British did was to create a Tower of Babel. I don't know if people understand. People who know about the Bible will know what the Tower of Babel is, where people of different tongues are put together, and of course everything just fell apart. And that is exactly the same problem with Nigeria, and it's also the same problem with a lot of African countries. I mean, for example, Uganda has 4 main ethnic groups. They are about 8 million each. Each one of them could stand on its own as a nation and be very successful, more successful than Uganda is. Nigeria has been put together by people whose interests were just commercial. They weren't interested in us. They couldn't care less. All they wanted was money from Yoruba land. That was it. The money they took from Yoruba land wasn't just to take money to the north. They also took money from Yoruba land for themselves. For example, the Yorubas contributed £6 million to the war debt of Great Britain in 1917. Imagine that amount of money. So we have a country where people are different. They have nothing in common before the British came. There was hardly any interaction between any of us before the British came. I mean, the River Niger made sure that everybody was, kept apart. So we had nothing in common. We don't like each other very much, because if the Fulanis liked us, why would they come to Yoruba land to be killing our men? Why will they come to Yoruba land to be raping our women and raping our girls? Why will they come to Yoruba land to destroy our farm with their cattle? And therefore, when people say Nigeria was wrong right from the beginning. Nigeria was totally wrong right from the word go. And the people of Nigeria do not like us Yoruba. Don't let us deceive ourselves. We have just been going along because the political elites, because they are making all the money, they have a lot of money to steal, they couldn't care less about the rest of us. They really could not care less what happens to the citizen of Nigeria. Unlike people like Awolowo, who started life as a trade unionist. So he got grounded in trade unionism to know these are what these people are suffering. This is what they need. This is what we can give them. These other politicians who benefited from Awolowo's what have they done for us? Nothing. Going on social media right now is the secondary school in Ijesha, where in 2022 secondary students were going into the bush to defecate. In 2022 in Nigeria, secondary school students were going into the bush to defecate. When I was in the primary school in the 50s in a village, we had salanga. I don't know what you call that in English. We had a pit that nobody went to the bush. Nobody went to the bush. We had salanga in the school that you used. Now, how many years later? 70 years later nearly. We have now gone to a situation before the 1950s. So that is why Nigeria has to break up, because Nigeria Nigeria is a hell. It's a hellhole. It's gonna break up. And when people talk about ethnicity, look at Europe. Just look at Europe. Look at Europe. There's no country that is not ethnically pure, except perhaps Switzerland. Every other country in Europe is ethnically pure. The Germans have their Germany. The French have their France. The Spanish have their Spain. The Italians have their Italy. The Portuguese have their Portugal. That is why they are successful. They don't have to fight anybody. They don't have... The mono-ethnic countries on this planet have been uniformly successful. When you look... Japan is mono-ethnic. So when we say we want our own Yoruba land and people are talking some kind of rubbish, we have the precedent not only of what Awolowo did between 1952 and 1959, but also what happens in the rest of the world where mono-ethnic countries are successful. Mono-ethnic countries are successful, and there's no reason why we should not be successful as well. And I tell you something. The amount of resources that comes out of Yoruba land gives me the confidence that we will be more successful than we are now. When you look at Nigeria, where is foreign money coming into Nigeria? Through Yoruba land. We have the borders, the Atlantic Ocean. We've got border with Benin. The northern border that we have. What comes through from Niger Republic? What comes through there? From Cameroon? What comes through there? We have enough resources in Yoruba land to be one of the best nations on this planet. Whether it is natural resources, whether it is human resources, people really don't realize this. The first Archbishop or the first Bishop of West Africa was a Yoruba man. We have been having doctors and lawyers since the 1850s. Since the 1850s, that we Yorubas have been having doctors, lawyers, teachers, journalists. Imagine the Yorubas have been owning newspapers since the 1850s, like that we've been having newspapers. We have one of the oldest banks in the world. The first bank, I think it's now the first bank, was in 1850 something that was established.
All right. Thank you so much for taking us back to, and I guess that led to my question, some of the reasons why the Yoruba will want to. At exactly 7 p.m. is when we're going to go straight into the main important conversation. So I want you to sit back, those of you that have joined us. You're probably joining us for the first time. This is Star Radio UK. And this is how we welcome people when they join us on Star Radio UK.
All around the world. In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone. 10,
So
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
that is just the testing.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Star Radio UK.
This is Star Radio UK, and as I said, at 7 o'clock, that is when we're going to hit the ball on the head. The court case that a lot of you want to know, when is it coming up? What are the chances? What and how do we challenge the legal aspect of an important election in Nigeria, Ekiti and Osun State? That is going to come up in just 15 minutes. What we are still doing right now, we're just going around and looking for answers, questions to some of the reasons why the Yorubas, the indigenous people, want to leave Nigeria. Let me come back again to you, Baasegun. Someone out there that is a believer of one Nigeria. He has been following this, self-determination that has been going on, and everybody knows my position as well. That I believe that the best option, as we speak right now in 2022, is for the Yoruba to stand on his own. Not literally the views of Star Radio UK, but as we live in a society where, according to what I've read here on the Daily Code, the 21st century wonderful era, and you can't excuse yourself from such a great opportunity. The great opportunity will be for me to be in the Yoruba nation, where I cannot have anything more than be proud of my identity. What about those that still believe in one Nigeria, Baasegun? What do you tell them? Those that say that, we are better off as a country in one union. We are 200 million, and I know as a 200 million, we are the capital poverty of the world. We are the number 3 when it comes to the global terrorism index today. We are also in a country where a lot of people don't ask questions, and I believe that is what has led us to where we are for the last 61 years. What would be your message to anyone out there, diaspora, Nigerians back at home, and probably some friends of Nigerians that do not believe that the country should break up?
There seems to be a misunderstanding that somehow the size of your country, the size of your population is what makes you important in the world. Now, I give an example of a country like Barbados, for example, with 500,000 people. To the British, for example, Barbados is more important than Nigeria. Do you know why? Because they go to Barbados for their holidays. How many of them come to Nigeria for holidays? Millions of Britons go to Barbados on their holidays. And therefore, if anything happens in Barbados, they're fighting for Barbados in London almost immediately. Because the link between them, the size of a country is irrelevant to how useful you are. How many? Look at a lot of the countries in Europe, the Swedens, the Hollands. The population is smaller than the population of Lagos. Are you going to compare Sweden with Nigeria? Are you going to compare Norway with Nigeria? Nigeria is 200 million. 200 million what? What is the advantage of that large number? The people deceive us. They say, Nigeria is the largest market. What they mean is that Nigeria allows them to dump anything in Nigeria. That's what they mean by largest market. What do we in Nigeria give export to anywhere that they are telling us, you are the largest market? And so what? Largest market in what? This is the problem, is that Nigerians have been seduced into this belief that the larger, because you have a big population. If Nigeria was a good place, why do our young people go abroad? Why do they flee Nigeria? You have young Nigerians trekking across the Sahara Desert only to die in the Mediterranean. The Nigerians who are in Ukraine with the war, they prefer to go to another country than to return to Nigeria. That tells you the kind of country Nigeria is. Nigeria is hell. You can't have a situation where People are fleeing the war zone. They are not prepared to go home. They say they would rather go to another country than go to Nigeria, their place of origin. As I said, our young people are traveling through the Sahara Desert only to die in the Mediterranean because they will rather be anywhere on this planet than Nigeria. So when somebody tells me one Nigeria rubbish, when I ask people, name one single benefit of Nigeria. Just one single benefit. Nothing. And I say at the same time, tell me what is the disadvantage of having a Yoruba nation? What is the disadvantage? There are at least 30 million of us. We've got enough people to run our own country. We've got the land. We've got natural resources. We've got brain power all over the place. What do we need Nigeria for? The Yorubas do not need Nigeria. And a lot of the people who say, oh, Nigeria, they're either benefiting from the political scene, just stealing Nigeria's money, or they are suffering from what they call the Stockholm syndrome. When you are a kidnapped person, when you live long enough with your kidnapper, you begin to have sympathy for those who kidnap you. There is no single advantage in Nigeria whatsoever. When I was at university, people used to clean our room for us. On Friday, you took your clothes, your dirty clothes, you put it in a box, they returned it nicely ironed. They came, they swept your room. Now, you are in university, you have to cook food in your room. You are probably 10 of you in one room that is accommodated, that will normally be accommodation for 2 people. How are you going to read there? Plus, your teachers are perpetually on strike. So that the course that normally should take you 3 years, 10 years you are still there. By the time you leave university, you've married, you've got children. In my day, most people left university with a degree at the age of 21. Most people graduated in medicine at the age of 23, 24. Today in Nigeria, to graduate from BSc, you go in, you are 17, 18. By the time you finish, you're already married, you have children. And then you come out, there's no job. When I was at university, people were begging us. People were being offered hire purchase cars and so on and so forth before they left university. And then people are telling me, Nigeria has no advantage at all. And let me tell you something about, there are two terminologies that are used in Nigeria that are total contrary. The first one is federalism. There is some idea that Nigeria had a federal structure that was so good, so wonderful. It's rubbish. The only time that federalism worked in Nigeria was between 1952 and 1959, when Western region had self-government. Federalism worked because the British were the referees. The day that the British left Nigeria, federalism died. What happened? The first thing that happened was that as soon as the 1959 election took place, the North and the East ganged up against the Yoruba people. By 1962, they'd already declared state of emergency. Dr. Makanjola was already the interim administrator. By 1962, they've already plotted against Awolowo to send him to prison. So when people say federalism, they are talking rubbish. And those who say restructure what?
What? I was going to come there. Now that you've just put on it, if you're just joining us, this is
Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Well, you can follow us on all our platforms on Star Radio UK, on Twitter, on YouTube. This program comes live every Wednesday between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. And tonight I have a special guest that is the coordinator for the Ilana UK. We're going to be giving more information. But what we are going to be discussing at the next segment at about 7 o'clock, which is about 4 minutes from now, but I have about 46 seconds that we have got ready that I want us to listen to, and that will then start linking us straight into the conversation. Tonight, we want to know about the update on Ekiti and Osun court case. Why are we in the court? That's number one question. The second one will be why now? Why we had to act? Summary of the action so far, potential to corrupt judges. These four questions, it's something you don't want to sit away from, because my guest is ready to give it us on.
This is Star Radio UK.
So I'm going to play these, and then that will then link us straight to, should we have where the government says we would restructure or we will review and bring down the constitution? Then are we prepared for that? Or is that going to happen? And if that doesn't happen, this is what the interview that was given by Pa Ayo Adebanjo. He is the leader of the Afenifere, a social cultural group. This is what he has to say some few days ago.
The recommendation is that they should change this constitution now before it is done. If you don't change it now, there will be chaos.
So, before that, there have been agitations for self-determination, Yoruba nation, and all that.
My dear, many of you don't understand when I say I don't support secession, I don't oppose it. When they refuse to do restructuring, secession will follow.
Well, is that the case, Baasegun, when they refuse to do the restructuring or review the constitution that you are now challenging, that will lead us to what are we challenging and why do we want to challenge the constitution? Would there be chaos? Would there be, secession? We'll just continue. Let's go now straight into it at exactly 2 minutes before 7 p.m. Again, this is
Star Radio UK.
Let's go into the conversation tonight with me in the studio. Well, he's not in the studio, but from his base there in Leicester. I say thank you so much for giving us your time at a very, very short notice. Today, the 20th. I like to put the date because of the history that will probably watch this video when they come into it at any point, because we are living, according to the daily code that we have, the 21st century is wonderful era. You can't excuse yourself from such a great opportunity. You've had him there. What respond before we go into Ekiti and Osun court case?
Okay, I would like to respond to the clip that you've just done. It is very surprising to me that people who are vast or supposed to be vast in politics really do not understand politics at all. The change in Nigerian constitution started in 1966. It isn't new. The drive towards unitary system started with Ironsi. And the Fulanis and the Northerners took over. And they have been relentlessly redrafting the Nigerian constitution ever since. They learned the first lesson from Gawan. When Gawan suddenly decided that he was going to have so many states, nobody challenged him. Who the hell did he think he was to decide that he was going to break Nigeria into different states? There was no challenge. And that is how the Northerners have learned that if they change the constitution, most Nigerians will just go along with it. That is the culmination. It's gone on and on and on and on and on, and it has ended in 1999 constitution. It gave them the I don't know whether the effrontery or the whatever it is, to say, well, we are going to have a constitution and we are going to say the rest of Nigerians agreed with it, even though nobody agreed with it. But they've been doing this stepwise, step by step, since Gawan. So that when I hear people who are supposed to know the people who are supposed to lead us are talking about restructuring, which means absolutely nothing. Restructure what? What are you restructuring? Nigeria was put together wrongly right from the beginning. You cannot restructure a structure that is wrong. Nigeria is finished. Nigeria is finished. Nigeria was built on illegality, and about time for it to finish. And I can't understand people of that generation not understanding politics at all. I'm not a politician, and I understand politics more than they do. You could see what the Northerners have been doing since 1966, when Gawan started it, and slowly, all the constitutions that Nigeria has had since 1966 have been written by Northerners. All this, we have a constituent assembly, we had this, we had that. It's been exactly the same. They have been the ones who have written the constitution. The constitution of Western region was written by representatives of the people. We elected people to go to the House of Chiefs, House of Assembly. They then wrote a constitution for us. The constitution of Nigeria was written by representatives of the people, by members of the Federal House of Representatives. They wrote the constitution. Since 1966, no people, Nigerians have not written a single constitution since 1966. It's all been done by the same cabal, by the same northern cabal. So to come up and be talking about restructuring what? What are you going to restructure? Every time, there has not been a proper census since 1950. Well, actually, the 1959 constitution was rigged by the British to give the North a larger population. Since then, we have not had a census. Because if we had a census, number one, we will know that there are not 200 million Nigerians. Where did you get the 200 million? If you had a proper constitution census, you will find out that Nigeria is not 200 million people. Where are they? You will also find that the Yorubas are probably the largest group in Nigeria. If you had a proper census. But unless you have this sort of infrastructure, you have a proper census, you have proper demarcation. What are you restructuring? You are restructuring. People talk about computer. You put garbage in, garbage comes out. It is nonsensical for anybody to suggest to us that restructuring is going to make any difference to what?
So what you are saying, for the benefit of our listeners, from Congo, from Sierra Leone, Ghana, UAE, Cyprus, Turkey, Great Britain, America, Canada, is that we should not even be discussing restructure or amendment. I had the name amendment of the Constitution. The 1999 Constitution will be amended.
Now, you cannot amend a fraudulent document. If something is fraud, if a document is a misrepresentation, you cannot amend it. Look, let me tell you why the 1999 Constitution is a fraud. Abdul Salami, who wrote that constitution, all this nonsense about they gathered 20 people who sat down. No, Abdul Salami wrote the constitution. It was his decree. Right? Abdul Salami knew that for a constitution to be valid, it had to be ratified by the people in a referendum. So he faked it. He wrote in the constitution, we the people. Who are we? Who are you? Who are you to speak for me? He knew that there had to be a referendum before the constitution was accepted. Next door, Benin Republic, they had a referendum for a new constitution. They've had a new constitution. They had a referendum. People agreed, this is the way we want to go. Abdul Salami and his clique, they sat down somewhere, they wrote all these things. They knew that they needed the support of the people. They knew they wouldn't get it, so they lied.
So there's no point talking about amendment of the constitution. Is that what you're saying?
You cannot amend something. Nigeria does not have a constitution. The last constitution we have that you can say Nigeria has is 1963 constitution. Nigeria doesn't have a constitution because the 1963 constitution has been annulled. So as we sit here today, as we speak today, we do not have a constitution.
Is that the reason why you want to challenge this constitution?
Sorry?
Is that the reason why you want to challenge the constitution?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Let's go
because
into
Nigeria
it.
has no constitution. And then you are trying to organize an election under something that doesn't exist. There's no constitution.
So if there's no constitution, that means that the Ekiti and Osun state should not hold because we don't have a constitution.
Exactly.
Let's go into it.
You are telling everybody you are holding an election under. You've got the Electoral Act. You've got this, that, and the other under a constitution that does not exist.
So why
Nigeria? Sorry to interrupt you. Nigeria signed a treaty, and there's an African Charter on Democracy. Chapter 20 of that charter says that for a constitution to be legal, you have to have a referendum. Nigeria signed that treaty. Part of the problem is that a lot of people in Nigeria who should be in the know are ignorant about so many things. I bet you the people who signed the treaty don't even remember that they signed a treaty which said that in order to change your constitution, you had to have a referendum. The same charter that they signed said that military coup was not acceptable. The same charter that these people in Nigeria signed. But they just signed all these treaties all over the place. They have no idea what they are signing. They don't read it, and our people don't bother to read it either. So you have a situation that the blind is just leading the blind. And as soon as you start talking about, you've done this wrong, people start talking. Nigeria is in a legal mess, complete legal mess.
So, if I may ask you again, there's a court case. Give us a brief of this court case and why are we in the court? Once again, if you've just joined us, this is
Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Give us a brief of this court case and why are we in the court?
Okay. As I said right at the beginning, I said this court case in Ekiti and Osun, where we are saying we don't want any elections for the governorship elections to be held. The case is important because it directly challenges the legitimacy of elections under the 1999 Constitution. And as I was explaining before, a constitution establishes the rules by which a country is ruled. That's what a constitution is. Elections are part of those rules. And you can't have a valid election if the constitution is fraudulent. Nigeria's 1999 constitution is fraudulent, and therefore you cannot have a valid election under the 1999 constitution. And as I was saying earlier, this court case is very, very important because what it does is that we want to make clear to politicians, these people who have been stealing our money, doing all rubbish, treating us, citizens of Nigeria, with impunity. These people treat us with impunity. We are now going to tell them that they do not have any legal standing to treat us badly anymore. That's what this court case is. That's why this court case is very important, because we are now for the first time telling politicians, excuse me, we are telling the politicians that you have no legal standing to treat us with impunity. You've been hiding under the 1999 Constitution. But that Constitution is not a constitution. It's a fraud. It's a misrepresentation. And therefore, you do not have the legal standing to treat us with impunity. Look at it. 600 odd assembly members, they are collecting billions and billions and billions of naira every month. There are 2,500 professors in Nigeria. They are not collecting as much money as a couple of senators. That tells you the priority of these crazy people who call themselves politicians, who call themselves leaders in Nigeria. These crazy people who contribute nothing. They contribute nothing. If you ask yourself, what does an assemblyman or a senator contribute to Nigeria? Nothing. Nothing. They don't make anything. They don't do anything. So when we say that we want to stop the election in Osun and Ekiti states, what we are saying is that we want legally to be pointed out that they do not have any standing to steal our money anymore.
I'm coming to you. Let's hear what Pastor Paul Adefarasi had to say some few months back on the same 1999 constitution that we're discussing. If you've just joined us, this is Baasegun Alabe. He's the coordinator of Ilana UK with me on.
This is Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
We are looking at the update on Ekiti. When is the court case? Before I go into that video, when is this court case coming up? Because I know there was one to have happened, but for whatever reason, it never occurred. Could it be the Maradona aspect of Nigeria? Or what actually happened? Because a lot of expectation of the Oshogbo court case, but that never occurred. Maybe the one coming might also change. We don't know.
Okay. The hearing for the case at Oshogbo was scheduled for the 13th of April. And then they changed it because they said there was Easter holidays and they were going on holidays, and it has now been postponed to the 17th of May.
Okay.
Now, the Ekiti case was assigned for 28th of April. That's next week.
Next week.
And as far as I'm aware, nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. Thank you so much for that. Go ahead.
So Ekiti is still 28th of April, and Oshogbo is now 17th of May.
No, 28 you said earlier. 28th of April, that's for the Ekiti.
No, 28th of April is for Ekiti, Ado Ekiti.
Okay, and then the 17th of May is for the one in Oshogbo.
Is for Oshogbo.
Okay then. All right, let's listen to this. Yeah, before you go into it, let's just listen to this, and then the next question I'm going to ask you is, why now? Because a lot of people will say the Yoruba is meant to be the next person, even though we know from their system, people say it has to go to the southeast. But people will say, why now that the Yorubas want to stop another Yoruba from becoming the president by challenging that same constitution, even though you are starting from the court case? But let's hear what Pastor Paul Adefarasi had to say here.
About it. It's not about whether it's actually quite stupid to go and buy yourself a fancy car in a land like this. It doesn't make sense. A car anyways is a liability, it's not an asset. You understand? We've got to do something about our country. And only people who are genuinely rooted in Christ will be able to deliver on God's purposes for this nation. Does he have a purpose for it? Of course. Look at the amount of resources he has put in Nigeria. Look at the resilience of the Nigerian. Look at how Nigerians are succeeding everywhere in the world, whether they left Nigeria 400 years ago or left Nigeria on a plane 50 years ago. They excel. We're at the top of the treasury in the United States. We're at the top of the World Bank. The list is very long in all the sciences and in all the arts. So the problem is not Nigerians. It is Nigeria and its constitution. The document upon which we were formed was a few soldiers who put it together and their surrogates. And that's what's supposedly holding us together. The foundation is that document. And if that foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? We've got to go back to the foundation. The next administration must not access power until we have a veritable constitution that is truly the document of we the people.
Well, I'm going to let that go, and that would then take me to, you've heard him there. That is, a well-respected pastor in Nigeria. He was discussing this on his podium, just as we had one that was saying 80% of the income of Nigeria is in the few hands of the people. But my question to you now is, why now do you want to challenge this 1999 Constitution? You've given us a brief of it. We know now that on the 28th, definitely the Ekiti State is going to go ahead. The 17th of May next month, we should have also the Oshogbo one. But why now do you want to challenge this 1999 Constitution for the two governorship election coming up in the southwest of Nigeria, or some might say the Yoruba land, for those that are already saying we don't want to be part of Nigeria?
Okay. What has happened is this, that the governorship election in Osun and Ekiti, because they are limited to Yoruba land alone, provided us with the opportunity of challenging the elections, of saying we do not want elections in Yoruba land again. When you have elections everywhere, it becomes a bit difficult to say you are going to pick your own little corner. But the fact that these elections are only holding in Yoruba land gave us the opportunity to say, we do not want elections in Yoruba land again under the 1999 Constitution. And that's what we're saying. Some people have, I don't know if you know what something called the statute of limitation, that if there's a wrongdoing, you have to deal with it quickly, otherwise the courts wouldn't take it. The difference here is that the statute of limitation was written in the 1999 Constitution, and that the 1990 Constitution is irrelevant because it is not a constitution, it's a fraud. So anything that is written in that constitution is a fraud. So the opportunity that these two cases presented us was great, in the sense that two cases only limited to Yoruba land, we can then challenge it, and then once we challenge it and we are successful, then we say no more election under the 1999 Constitution in Yoruba land. We are not talking about what happens in other places. So let me stress that. Other people in Nigeria, the other peoples of Nigeria, can decide whether or not they want election on their land.
Okay.
It's got nothing to do with us. What this case is about, why we picked this case specifically, is to show that we in Yoruba land do not want elections under the 1999 Constitution. So this is a Yoruba thing. The opportunity was there to limit it to the Yoruba people, and that's why we are doing it this way.
Okay. Well, the question I'm going to ask now, that is going to give us more understanding, reasons why we had to act. Should we leave it and not act? What's going to happen? We're already acting according to the the procedures that have been taking place. The court cases coming up. But why we have to act is what I want to know from you. Once again, this is
Star Radio UK.
Why we have to act.
Okay. Why we've had to act? Okay. There are two reasons. Reason number one is, remember I was saying how the Constitution, these Northerners have been writing the Constitution slow by step until 1999. Is that what they've done is to make the rest of us slaves to the Northerners. That's what they've done. They've written their Constitution step by step from Gawan. Gawan started from Gawan. They've done it in such a way to be the internal colonialists. They were the internal colonialists. So the first thing is this: we are saying that we are nobody's slaves. We are not the slaves of Fulani. We are not anybody's slaves. We are Yoruba. That's what we are. The second reason why we've had to act is this: that we have a God-given right to determine our own future. And that is what we are doing. That is what the court case is doing. That we have the God-given right to determine what we want to do for ourselves. And let me tell you something. The 12 states, the 12 Arewa states, what did they do? They passed Sharia law. because that is the way they wish to determine their own future. Why are we not allowed to do the same? Why are all our governors and all these people, why do they not realize that we are entitled to do the same? The 12 Arewa states decided that this is how to determine their own future. They've done it. More or less, they've succeeded. So that's number two, or number three, rather. The charters of the United Nations says self-determination is inalienable. It's sacrosanct. You cannot take it away from people. The African Charter also says exactly the same, that self-determination is sacrosanct, is inalienable. Nigerian Constitution says the same. Nigerian law says the same. That was why when Igboho went to court in Ibadan, Justice Akintola said that to demand self-determination is not against the law in Nigeria. So in effect, that is why we are acting. We have suffered enough. We have suffered enough. Otoge, we want to go. We want to now look after ourselves. I tell people, this is not a fight against the Fulani. It's not a fight against anybody. We want to do things the Yoruba way. That's it. We're not interested in what happens. I mean, after we leave Nigeria, if the rest of them want to call themselves Nigerians, that's fine. If Tinubu and Oshibajo wants to go and be their president, that's fine. We do not want to be part of Nigeria anymore. So that is why we have had to act. Two reasons. The first thing, we don't want to be anybody's slaves, and Nigeria, the way Nigeria is structured, makes us slaves to everybody. 75% of Nigeria's wealth comes from Yoruba land. They give us 15%. We have no control over anything. That is slavery. We don't want it. Number two, it is our God-given right to live on our own. Number three, the United Nations, African Charter, Nigerian law says we can go and live on our own. That is what we are trying to do. So that is the reason why we are acting. We are not acting against anybody. We are not fighting anyone. In fact, we are trying to show everybody that we are civilized people. We are civilized people. We will rather go to court than go and carry guns and all this sort of nonsense. No. We want to do this peacefully and by the book.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much once again. We just are under half an hour before the end of the program. If you've just joined us, this again is...
This is Star Radio UK.
All around the world.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Well, every Wednesday, you're going to be myself here with a lot of different guests. I remember we had Omoyele Sowore here, we have Fela Durotoye, we had a lot of them. But we are here tonight with a very special guest from the, self-determination movement. Is also the coordinator of Ilana, United Kingdom. If anybody wants to become, a member or want to be part of the Ilana UK chapter, what do they need to do? What do they need to know? Before I still have two more questions, and I want you to be preparing for that. Summary of the action so far is the question, but what I want to know is if anybody wants to be part of Ilana UK, how and what do they need to know? Okay, we've lost your voice there. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Only members or people who are domiciled in the United Kingdom can be members of Ilana UK.
Okay.
You cannot be a member of Ilana UK if you live in Nigeria, or if you live in Sweden, or you live in Saudi Arabia. You can only be a member of Ilana UK if you live in the UK. The easiest way to connect with us is to go onto our website, www.ilanauk.org. I'll say that again. www.ilanauk.org. If you go onto that website, it tells you a lot about us, what we are about, and it gives you an idea of what you are joining when you join us. I will just say this quickly. When we talk about this joining, there are 120,000 Yoruba people in London. I'm not talking about the rest of the country. In London alone, there are 120,000 Yoruba people. We have about the same number as the Jews, right? We have 2, maybe 3 MPs. They have over 20. Same number of people. They have over 20. They have political clout. We haven't got any. And yet we have the same number. And part of the things that we are trying to do at Ilana UK is this. We want as many of you to join us so that we can have a powerhouse in the UK. Let me tell you something. If we had as many MPs as the Jews today, we would have self-determination. I have no doubt about that. If we had the same number of MPs as they have, we will have self-determination today. Because the Jews have political clout. You know, you can't, no MP can insult the Jews. You'll be out of your party. And these people talk nonsense about us all the time. They talk so much garbage about us all the time. They do so because we have no political clout. So one of the things that we are trying to do at Ilana UK is to harness the power of the 120,000 Yorubas in London and the many more all over the place. Whether you go to Newcastle, Manchester, Birmingham, all over the place, all the major cities, we are the doctors, we are the nurses, we are the train drivers, we are the lorry drivers, we are the cleaners. We are doing all these things all over the place, and yet we don't have political clout. And that's what Awolowo taught us. That's why he started from being a trade unionist, putting people together, and that's what we are trying to do. So please join us. It gives you political clout, and you know we want to have that power. We need that power. Now, you asked me about the summary of the action so far.
Yes.
And I'll quickly go through it. On the 15th of March, we filed the cases in court in Ekiti Federal High Court and Oshogbo Federal High Court. That's what we did on the 15th of March. On the 28th of March was when they gave us the assignment that they are going to be hearing in Oshogbo and Oshun. Now, in Oshogbo and Ekiti. Now the cases are in Ekiti, 28th of April, which is next week. And the for Oshun is now the 15th of May, the 17th of May. What I say to people is this: please, 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 do not vote. And I'll tell you why. Oyetola, the governor of Osun State, what did he do in order to stymie the case that we've taken to court? Oyetola, the governor of Osun State, went to the court to say that he wants to defend the federal government. Why? Because he wants to stand re-election. So a Yoruba man now goes to court and says, I want a 1999 constitution that makes the Yoruba slaves. I don't want you to get rid of it. This is a man who calls himself a Yoruba man. And what did he achieve in the 4 years that he has been governor? I was saying it earlier. Secondary school in Osun State, they are going into the bush to defecate. In 2022, this is a man who wants to be reelected. Reelected to do what? You've had 4 years, you did bugger all, and then you want another 4 years. That's the sort of people. So please, 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 we want as many of you as possible to attend court on those dates. Okay. Let me tell you again. Ekiti, 28th of April. Oshogbo, 17th of May. The ECOWAS court has told Nigeria, has just told Nigeria that Nigeria has no right to stop peaceful protests. That is just a determination against Nigeria. That Nigeria does not have the right to stop anybody from protesting peacefully. So you can go to the court to protest. You don't, please, we don't want you to take guns or cutlasses or whatever. We just want you to go there peacefully to show the world, to show everybody that we, the Yoruba, want to leave Nigeria.
Wow.
This all we want you to do. We don't want, we are civilized. We are Obaduabi.
Well, we would probably maybe just about 10 minutes before the end of the program, we probably just, speak a little bit of our language so that for the benefit of those that probably, not that they don't understand what we are saying, so that we can carry them along. And that will be I'll give you the opportunity just at about 10 minutes before the end of the program. We are now just about 30 minutes before the end of the program. Again, if you've just joined us, this is
Star Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Well, you turn it on every Wednesday with myself here in the studio, and every Monday to Friday you can also join me from 11 o'clock for the update from the news from Nigeria. Quite a lot of disturbing news before we go to the final question I asked for you, which is going to be the potential to corrupt judges, because a lot of people are in doubt whether there will be any outcome, because we know the condition and the situation in Nigeria. But let's go into Nigeria itself. In the last quarter of this year, there's been a lot of killing, there's been massacre, not just in the southeast, but also in the southwest, in the northwest. What is your take on the current insecurity in the country? I just heard news coming that the wife of the president have returned and they'll be having a special prayer. I know she doesn't live in Nigeria because she spent more time in Dubai, but she's right in Nigeria right now to pray for the security of the country. What is your take, your own view or personal opinion to the current crisis? We saw the terrorist bomb attack. Over 200 or more Nigerians are still in the captives of this, of these terrorists. On Friday in Oyo State, there was a kidnap. The family are telling me they are now demanding 30 million. In Kano, a businessman was making his way back from Cotonou. Even the 6 million was paid. He was eventually killed. What is going on? What is your take? In terms of the insecurity in Nigeria, Baasegun.
Okay. Let me just start by saying this, that the insecurity in Nigeria is due to the ineptitude of Buhari as president. If you remember, when Buhari staged his coup against Shagari, he staged the coup, he wrote to Margaret Thatcher. And one of the reasons why he said he staged the coup was because there was a lot of insecurity in Nigeria. So the man who knew about insecurity becomes president and he can't deal with it. And he cannot deal with it because Buhari was inept when he was military head of state. He was inept. And it's not surprising that he's inept now. I mean, how would he have acquired anything else? He was inept then, he's inept now. So that's not a problem. Now, let me tell you what I think about all this escalation. These people are now beginning to realize that Nigeria is going to break up. And one of the things that they are doing is a lot of distraction. They are trying to frighten us from declaring Yoruba nation by telling us that if you did it, there will be war. Let me tell you, it's rubbish. When we declare Yoruba nation, we will admit into Yoruba land the people that we want to live in Yoruba land. When we have our own country, all these people will be expelled. You go back to your state, get a passport from your country, and then get a visa to come in. That's the way it works. This idea that you are going to stop us from declaring Yoruba nation because of what? Because of what? And the idea that they are such a large number, what are they going to do? So we say we are going. The Igbos say they are going. So the North will now fight the entire South. They have the power to fight the entire South. It is all designed to, shift our focus. Don't let us be distracted at all. This is our journey. This is where we are going. Let them go to hell.
Wow.
Let them all go to hell. This is where we're going. This is our journey. We are not going to be deflected. And when we have our Yoruba nation, the whole lot of you will live. Whether you like it or not, you will go. And then when you go back to your place, you then get a visa to come back. If we think you are worthy, we'll admit you. The same way as I am here, I'm admitted to this country. We will do the same. There'll be people who will be naturalized Yoruba people. There'll be Yoruba people who are originally Yoruba people. That's how it works. So the idea that, they are carrying guns, they are doing that and the other. What will they do when we declare Yoruba nation? They will then do what? Okay. And let me tell you something. People who think that we are incapable of fighting need to remember what happened with Wetiye. When the Yorubas decided that the 1964 election was not going to be accepted, when they decided that you are not going to govern Yoruba land with that election, we started Wetiye. It was spontaneous, leaderless. So the Fulani need to be very, very careful that when we declare Yoruba nation, if they tried anything, they will suffer.
Wow.
If they try anything, they are going to suffer.
Once again, if you've just joined us, you haven't missed much, but you probably have to rewind after the end of the program. I would like to appreciate my producer and all the technical team that are working behind the scene every Wednesday. This is Star Radio UK Niger Voices. My last question, before we start winding down, and like I said, I'm going to give you opportunity towards the end of the program, just about 10 minutes, should you want to speak, your local language, which is very, very important. And that's part of the reason why, we are also those of us that believe, in self-determination, a peaceful movement. And as you can hear from Baasegun, nobody has been asked to, to do otherwise than be peaceful, which is the message that is being passed by UK chapter and also, the worldwide chapter as well. Potential of corrupt judges. Are we going to get a good outcome from this court case? Potential of corrupt judges.
I'm confident that we will get a good outcome. I'm absolutely confident. The Ilana Omo-Oduah will not have gone to court if Ilana was not confident that we are going to win. There are people who think that this is some kind of a joke. No, we are not joking. Ilana Omo-Oduah worldwide did not go to court on a joke. We went to court because we believed that we will win. We knew we could win, and we believed that we are going to win. So I am not in two minds at all. I'm not in two minds at all. The idea that the government could corrupt the judges, all right, that is one idea that is very frequently put to me, that no, the judges can be corrupted. After all, they were all appointed from the Constitution appointed them. Yada. It is possible. Anything is possible. But on this occasion, it is difficult and it is unlikely. For example, ask yourself, would you have predicted that Justice Akintola in Ibadan would have said that Igboho was entitled to campaign for self-determination? How many Nigerians would have thought that would happen? Everybody that is saying blah, 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 blah. How many Nigerians will have thought that would happen? And that judgment is in the books. Nigeria said they are going to appeal. Appeal none. They said they are going to appeal. Where is the appeal? Let me tell you why it is difficult and unlikely in this case. Number one, there are two judges involved, two different judges involved, and that's why we did this case. One in Ekiti and one in Osogbo. Two different judges, two different ethnicities. So the two judges are different ethnicities as well. One is male, one is female. The government today, Buhari's government today, is lame duck. They have already started campaigning election. There's very little that this government can do now. I'm sure people understand what a lame duck government is. This government is lame duck already. That is why I think they are using Oyetola as the governor of Osun State as proxy. That's why he's there. And I learned that actually he is Tinubu's half brother. I think somebody told me. I don't know whether that's true.
I'm trying to find some.
The one thing that people don't realize about law. I mean, although I'm a doctor, I also have qualification in law, so I know what I'm talking about. The thing that people don't understand about judges is that a judge of the High Court has what is called inherent powers to hear cases. Inherent powers. That is, those powers are superior to the Constitution. The inherent powers of a judge are superior to the Constitution. And what is meant by inherent powers is this. If there is something that there is no precedent, if there is no decision about something before, if that thing is not within the law, a judge can make that decision. And the inherent power is actually recognized in the 1999 Constitution. Go and check out Section 6. The inherent powers of the judges is actually recognized there. That is, a judge has, when it comes to a case like this, where there is no precedent, there is no precedent, the judge has the inherent powers to make a decision one way or the other. Let me also tell you this. I have sat with judges. I have presented cases before the judges in this country, and I've learned something about judges as well. They like to make history. They're just like anybody else. They want to make history. They want their names to be in light. Look at Judge Akintola in Ibadan now, the one who decided the Igboho case. Forever, his name will be linked to the fact that it is legal in Nigeria to campaign for self-determination. His name will forever be attached to that. So judges also want their names to be in bright light. So I'm confident that these two judges that are going to hear these cases, one in Oshogbo, the other in Ekiti, I'm confident that they will do the right thing. So I'm not bothered.
Okay.
Finally, people talk about they can be postponing the case. It doesn't make any sense. This case is meant to stop an election. You cannot hold the election until a determination of that case has been made. And in any case, it is simple. If they start doing mago, all you have to do is to ask for an interlocutory injunction to stop the election. So as a totally separate brief before the court, you ask specifically for the election to be stopped. We can do that. So they will now have to come to the court to argue why the election should go ahead. You go to court separate from the determination of the substantive case. You go to court and you ask the court to stop the election. You tell the court these people are trying to use mago to keep postponing the election. The court needs to make a decision. So the court can be made to make a decision on whether the election should be held as a temporary measure. So the court will just simply say, well, we have this case in front of us. You can't carry on organizing the election until we decide the case. So you can't keep asking for adjournment. So there are ways of stopping all this rubbish, because this is a totally different case. This is a totally different thing entirely. Just before, I don't want to forget this bit, please. Yeah, I just want to make an advert.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
We have not yet got enough money to pay the lawyer. Okay.
Well,
we need more donations.
I was going to ask anyway, because if you're running,
we need more money to pay the lawyer.
If you're running this, who pays for it, and how do we get you?
What I want to do now is to give you our bank account details.
Okay.
So that you can donate to us. You can donate through our website, which is www.ilanauk.org. Okay, you can donate through that. You can also donate directly into our bank account, It's Ilana UK Limited. Ilana UK Limited, and it's Lloyd's Bank.
Okay.
And the account number is 69579562. 69579562. That's the account number. The sort code is 309897. 309897.
If you just repeat that one more time.
I'm just going to check and make sure that I've got that.
Okay.
Because
while you're still checking on that,
I'm not getting any younger, so I might forget things.
Well, once again, to those of you that have joined us, we'd like to appreciate you.
Down here is 6957 9562. I think that's what I said before.
Yeah, 6957
9562.
That's correct.
That's the account number, and the sort code is 309897.
Okay.
I think that's what I said before.
Definitely, that's what you said.
So
once again, to those of you that have joined us,
I just wanted to be absolutely sure. So I'm reading. I was, trying to remember it myself, but now I've read it to you.
Well, before we go, we're just about 15 minutes before we'll be returning back to the engineer and winding it down. I'd like to appreciate my producer once again, Frank and David, and all the team here on Star Radio UK. Tomorrow you can join the Property Hour and all other programs. You can follow us on the website www.starradiouk.com, and also you can also join us on Twitter at Star Radio UK. And should you have any information, you can reach us at info@Star Radio UK.
This is Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
As we are going to be leaving in just 12 minutes or thereabout, would like to appreciate every single one. Sorry we couldn't take calls. Maybe the next time, I have my guest in. Maybe after, the 2 court case, we're going to bring him back, and then we would have the phone line open, and you would then be able to speak to him with your question. I would like to appreciate everyone out there, that have joined us on all the platforms. Quite a lot of you, and also all the members and the committee of Ilana UK. We're also sending our greetings and love to Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igbowo, and we're sending greetings to Professor Banji Akintoye, Mrs. Abiola Onitiri. And before you go, the petition that is currently ongoing as we speak, the 5 million petition, what would you like to say to that? And then I would then ask you, maybe if you want to say something or 2 words in Yoruba for the benefit of those that are the Yorubas, which we are also trying to get
from the point of view of the petition, we at Ilana UK on our platform, we've advertised it. There are people on our platform that have arranged for people in Nigeria to sign the petition.
Okay.
So we've supported it wholeheartedly.
Okay. I know you have a social media handle.
Our own view at Ilana UK
I would like to know those social media handles as well, before you go. Your social media handles for Ilana UK, for the benefit of our listeners.
Yeah. No, I didn't quite catch
I said I would like to know some of your social media handles, your YouTube, your Instagram, your Twitter, the handles. I would like you to tell us those handles so that if anybody wants to follow you on Twitter, on Instagram, but I'd like you to respond first back on the petition.
Thank you very much. I mean, we've got our own Twitter feed, we've got our own Instagram, we've got our own clubhouse. Okay. And at the clubhouse, I try to talk to young people. The main aim of our clubhouse is to tell people about Yoruba. See, I'm glad you brought this up. The world knows Nigeria. Nigeria has face recognition. Nobody knows us Yoruba. One of our main tasks is to make people realize that we are Yoruba. It's a very important thing. When people know who we are as Yoruba, then they support us for our self-determination. It isn't enough to be saying, oh, we want self-determination. Nobody knows who we are. They know Nigeria. They don't know the Yoruba. And the time has come for us to make sure that the world knows who the Yoruba are. We need to tell people what our achievements have been. An example, I don't know if we've got enough time. An example is the story of the beginning of the world. The Yoruba say at the beginning there was heaven and there was water. Obatala came down, spread soil or the water, and that's how land started. The Europeans say at the beginning there was heaven and there was land, and then the land cracked and water came out. Now everybody is laughing at us, saying, what are they saying? They have their theory, we have our theory. And what do you think happened? In 2020, there was research in Australia which proved that it was a water world from the beginning. How the Yorubas knew that it was water world from the beginning, we will never know, because we weren't there. The fact of the matter is that Yorubas knew that the world was created as sky and water, and they then brought down soil. So the theory that the Yoruba put forward was correct. These are the sort of things we need to start telling the world. We need to tell the world, for example, that vaccination came from Yoruba land. We were the ones that were practicing vaccination of smallpox before anybody on this planet. And it was the slaves from Yoruba land that went to America that then taught the Americans about vaccination. Today, vaccination is everywhere. These are the things we need to tell people. All our people are writing constitutions that say we want parliamentary democracy, we want this. They don't know how the Yorubas govern themselves. We had an empire, for God's sake. How did the Yorubas organize an empire? These are the things we need to know. I've been attending a course on economic history of Africa. For the first time, I learned that the first agrarian people, the first people to plant seeds were Yorubas. They descended from people who were hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers. At the beginning, people were just hunting, and the first people to settle down, look, let us settle down and plant things rather than running around chasing things all over the place. And in order to do that, they had to master chemistry. They had to master how to deal with metals. They had to master how to make ceramics. Some of these things are in the British Museum today, that we still don't know how our people did these things. That's what we need to tell the world. We need to promote Yoruba. It is important that we promote every opportunity, whether by symposium, by documentaries, by whatever. We need to sell the Yoruba people, the Yoruba nation. Because when people hear about us, when they see what we are capable of achieving, what we have achieved, how we are much better than all the people we are sharing the country with, they will understand. But simply coming up and say we want self-determination, this, that. No, we can say we as Yoruba people, we are unique. Yorubas have been dwelling in cities before the Europeans were doing it. We have been city dwellers from the beginning. And our city dwelling was not based on industrialization, it was based on farming. Can you imagine people who are farmers somehow decided that they were going to be city dwellers? And by being city dwellers, they had to evolve a form of government to cater for the fact that there are so many other intricacies in society. That's what we need to do. We need to sell the Yoruba people, the Yoruba culture, the Yoruba tradition, so that when you talk that, oh, we want self-determination, they will say, yes, we know the Yorubas. They are clever people. They are Omoluabi.
Just before we wrap it up, fún àǹfààní tí a pè yín tí ẹ jẹ́ wa, ẹ bá wa kí gbogbo àwọn ará ilé just before you go. And for those that do not understand that, just telling our father Baasegun to greet those at home and the Yorubas outside in our language.
Ẹ̀yin ọmọ káàárọ̀ oòjíire, àwọn ọmọlúàbí, ó tó gẹ́ èyí tá a ṣe ní Nàìjíríà ti tó, ó yẹ ká máa lọ sílé bàbá tiwa o. Ìyà tó ti jẹ wá nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ó ti tó, ó tó gẹ́, ó yẹ ká máa lọ. àwa mọ̀ bá ṣe máa túnra àwọn ọmọlúàbí làwa àwa ò kì í ṣe ẹranko bí àwọn ará bí àwọn ẹranko là ń bá gbé ó ti tó gẹ́ ó yẹ ká máa tọ́jú ara wa àwa ní bá a ṣe ń tọ́jú ara wa káwọn òyìnbó tó dé àwọn ní a ní bá a ṣe oníṣègùn ni o a ní ifá ni o a ní ẹni tó máa ṣe ìjọba ni o a ní gbogbo ẹ̀ ẹni tó máa ṣàgbẹ̀ a ní bá a ṣe máa sọ ẹ̀gẹ́ di gàárì a ní lọ́wọ́ bá a ṣe máa sọ iṣu dèlùbọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ la ní káwọn òyìnbó tó dé àwa ti jẹ́ ọmọlúwàbí èèyàn gidi àwọn ló bá nǹkan kan jẹ́ fúnra àwọn òyìnbó ló pa á pọ̀ mọ́ àwọn tí a bá ní nǹkan kan pọ̀ àwọn òyìnbó ló tà á pọ̀ ó ti tó gẹ́ káwa náà máa lọ kóníkálukú máa jórúkọ bàbá àti ẹ̀ kóníkálukú lọ sílé ìyá àti ẹ̀ kó lọ máa jórúkọ bàbá àti ẹ̀ a ti ṣètò a ti ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ tó gbogbo owó nàìjíríà ìmọ̀lẹ́ ti rí òpin ọ̀dọ̀ wọn náà ti ń kó lọ wọ́n kówó wa lọ àwa ò lè tún títì wa ṣe wọ́n kówó wa lọ a lè tún iléèwé wa ṣe wọ́n kówó wa lọ a lè tún ilé ìwòsàn wa ṣe a lè ṣe nǹkan kan torí pé gbogbo owó tá a bá ti kó tán ti kó nílẹ̀ wa wọ́n máa kó kọ́bọ̀kọ́bọ̀ sí wa lọ́wọ́ wọ́n máa kó náírà lọ wọ́n á kó kọ́bọ̀kọ́bọ̀ lé wa lọ́wọ́ àwọn á máa jẹ́ṣu wa wọ́n á fi èèpo ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ fún wa jẹ ó ti tó ìyà tó ti jẹ wá ti tó ó yẹ ká máa lọ ẹ má dìbò fẹ́ni kankan o olùyà gbogbo àwọn tó sọ pé ká ẹ dìbò fún wọn olùyà ní gbogbo wọn ní láárí ẹ má dìbò fẹ́nìkan wọn fẹ́ràn yín ẹranko ní gbogbo wọn pẹ̀lú àwọn fúlàní ẹranko ní gbogbo wọn pàrọ̀ ẹ má dìbò fẹ́nìkan o ẹ má jẹ́ kán yàn yín jẹ mọ́ ìtàn yàn wá jẹ́ ti tó ó tó. Thank you.
What more could I say? It's been an amazing evening with my guest. Next week, we will prepare something much as we're going into that very busy year. Sorry we couldn't read all the comments, but I can say to every one of you, Sister Olajire Joseph, to my beautiful mom, Winky Ade, Omotayo, Ogbeson, Ibukun, Ogunfeyin, to say thank you to our father Baasegun. Also to Oluwagbenga Olushola, thank you so much. Boycott the Boycottables, Mr. Femi Onifade, thank you so much. Mr. Tunde Akimbowale, and all the rest of you that are Terry Omolade, Saburi Akinola, and also Akim Lasisi, Dot Yaltifa, and to all our Muslim brothers and brethren that are currently fasting from Star Radio UK on Niger Voices, we are sending our greetings, and to all our traditionalists and all our Christian brothers and sisters. And so I'm going to be handing over to the studio your final message this evening. Not the final one, because I'm going to be bringing you back just after the 2 court case. To everyone that is watching us, Baasegun, before I let you go in under 30 seconds.
Thank you very much for having me, for inviting me. I've enjoyed myself. Thank you very much to your audience for listening to me. I hope there has been a meeting of minds. If anybody wants to contact me, you want to have any more discussions, you want to invite me onto your platform, please do. Please do. That's what we are here for. I say, when you get to my age, if you can't say anything on your mind, then you will never say anything. Thank you very much for having me.
Wow, we'd like to say, thank you once again, and we're sure, going to see you again very soon. And on that note, as I'm waiting, for the engineer that will be taking over the control of the studio, my name is Olayomi Koiki. A lot of you probably will know me as Koiki Media, but tonight, we're on Star Radio UK, and this is what we do every Wednesday. Once again, I'll be on tomorrow. I know you've not seen me on the morning show, but we guarantee that we will try to be with them tomorrow morning at exactly 11 o'clock. Yoruba must have their own nation, and we must go. I have my track ready, and as soon as my producer is ready, let's listen to this. And once again, I would like to say thank you so much to everyone. I love this particular track because this one talks about Orile-ede mi, Orile-ede mi. Let's quickly enjoy that in just under some few seconds before we will be going straight back to my producer. This is how it goes. Orile from our sister, Janet.
Top dog.
As I let Baasegun to go, I'm also going to be saying thank you so much to everyone that have joined us tonight. I would have loved to continue, but we have to go. It's exactly 8 o'clock from here. I love you all, and I'll be back again same time next week with another edition on Star Radio UK. Thank you very much, Levi, Nati, and the rest of you. Bye for now.
This is Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
The best radio show. The best radio show. The best radio show.
This is Star Radio UK.